Today we are going to make the easiest beef stew in a pressure cooker under an hour. It tastes like it's been cooking all day, and it's actually tomato free. You can also make this in your slow cooker, and I'll make sure to give you some variations, but today we're going to use the pressure cooker so we can get dinner on the table in under an hour. So the first thing we have to do is to sear our meat. So I'm going to use 2 pounds of meat today, but I'm going to sear them 1 pound at a time so that everything gets some good coverage. So that's where we're going to start. Okay, so I'm just going to I have my Instant Pot here. I'm going to turn it on to the saute mode and set it for 10 minutes. I'm going to let that start heating up and add about a tablespoon of your favorite oil. I'm going to use avocado oil, about a tablespoon. I'm going to let that start getting hot while I unpackage our meat. So this is about a pound of meat, and I've got a second one of these to do as well. So you'll notice I have this already cut into stew. I'm not sure if you can see, but they're already some quarters. Everything's all cut up into bigger than bite-sized pieces, but nice and small. It's called a stew cut. Sometimes it's for kebabs, things like that. And I always make sure to use grass-fed beef. So when I see it on sale, I get extra, throw it in the freezer. You could make this from frozen if you wanted to. So now that this is heating up, I'm just going to add a pound of meat. And just a pinch of salt to this as well. And you're just going to let this brown on all sides. Shake it up after a few minutes, but let it get started. Okay, while your meat is searing, you want to chop up all your veggies. Today, I'm going to keep this onion-free, garlic-free. I'm just going to use some parsnips and carrots. Usually I use celery as well, but we didn't have any on hand, so you could also add some celery. So parsnips, if you've never seen them before, they're a root vegetable. You can get them usually in bulk. Wherever your carrots normally are, you want to make sure that you peel your parsnips. So you'll see the tops have already been removed, and you just want to peel the parsnips all the way, and then we're going to cut these up into bite-sized pieces. Okay, so you just want to chop up. I have 3 parsnips, 3 large carrots, easy peasy. Easiest way to cut these up is to cut off the top and the bottom, and then as far as you can see, what would be like an easy cut to eat, so you wouldn't be choking on a small piece like this, you can just cut these straight down, and then once you get to the point where you feel like it's bigger than bite size, you can cut it in half, and then you can work with a flat surface to continue cutting into bite-sized pieces your parsnips, and you'll do this with the carrots as well. Okay, so this has been cooking for 10 minutes. It's nice and seared up. What you want to do is it doesn't have to be fully cooked. You just want to take the meat out and put it in a small bowl or something, and you don't have to clean this out or anything. You just want to add a little bit more oil to the bottom and sear off your last pound of meat. And then once we're done with that, we'll start everything else. Okay, once you have both pounds of meat seared off, you just want to add all of the ingredients to the Instant Pot. So we already have a pound in here. We're going to add back that other pound of meat that we cooked off already. You're going to add all of your veggies. So I've got 3 carrots, 3 parsnips. Again, if you wanted to add onions or celery or anything like that, you could as well. And like I mentioned already, we're going to do this tomato-free, but you still want to have some of that heartiness, the flavor that you really associate with beef stew. So to do that, I'm actually going to add butternut squash puree instead. So I just get cans of organic butternut squash. You can find this online. I love using Thrive Market for this. You can also find it at Trader Joe's if you have one nearby, or even Whole Foods. So you want a cup of butternut squash puree. You could, of course, make your own as well, but convenience is a big factor for me. So we've got a cup of that. And then we're gonna add our seasoning. So I'm gonna use Herbes de Provence. So I got this at Trader Joe's. Again, you can get this online anywhere. It's a mixture of herbs. There's no garlic, there's no salt in here. It's just like thyme and lavender, but it's really earthy, and that's what I love with the beef. So we're gonna add a full tablespoon of the Herbes de Provence. And bay leaves. Bay leaves are my other key to making things. Make sure that they have a ton of that cooked all day flavor without cooking all day. So we're gonna do about 2 bay leaves. Make sure they're nice and fresh. Store them in a glass container. And then you also need some salt here. I'm gonna do about a half to a full teaspoon of salt, depending on how many veggies you added and things like that. So I'm gonna do a little bit more than a half of a teaspoon. And then, again, we're not doing any tomato, so I'm gonna just use water for this. I know you're probably thinking, don't you need stock? But you don't. It's very flavorful without the stock. So you're gonna do 1.5 cups of water, just regular filtered water. All right, you can stir this around if you want to. You don't have to. Here comes the easy part. You put the lid on, pressure cook on high for 20 minutes, and then you're gonna let it naturally release for 20 minutes or more. So you just want to put your lid on, choose high pressure, go up to 20 minutes, make sure the vent is closed so it can come up to pressure. It's going to take a few minutes to come up to pressure, and it's, again, going to cook for 20 minutes, and then we're going to let it naturally release for at least 20 minutes. If it hasn't come all the way out, we will release it ourselves after that. The pressure cooker has cooked for 20 minutes. It's been on waiting for 22 minutes. My salt just went everywhere, that's okay. So this is what you need to do. If the pressure cooker still indicates that it's got some steam in it, you need to carefully just push the release valve and to just make sure that all the steam is out. So this naturally released in 20 minutes. Once that's done, then you can take the lid off. And it smells really good in here right now. Okay, and then to this, I'm just gonna add some frozen peas. You could also add any other veggies that you like, but the peas only need to pretty much get warmed up by the juice in here. And then you can serve this over rice, you can serve this over baked sweet potato, white potatoes, whatever you love. It's the perfect meal, ready in under an hour, tastes like it's been cooking all day. For more simple, delicious, easy meals, visit us at bitesofwellness.com.